Test. Hello. Hi. I'm using this mic that often doesn't get shown, or it shows up in the weird this bit of the screen. I just wanted to do a quiet little Q&A, I think, because I haven't done one in a while. I have just been really tired for the past couple of weeks. I don't know, like, it's part of it is just that I'm busy, which is nice, and part of it is I haven't been sleeping. I don't know. I've just been very tired recently, and so I just kind of wanted to, instead of push myself to go out and film and stuff. It's also very cold today. It snowed last night. That's annoying to see on the screen. Yeah, instead of pushing myself, I'm just gonna kind of listen to my body, and I think I just want to stay inside today. And I asked you guys for some questions, and I picked out a few, and I'm going to answer them. Before we do that though, let me pull up the one thing I wanted to let you guys know about. So I get asked this every once in a while, if I'm gonna do another Wishtrend box, and I am, so let me get you the prices. I picked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my favorite items. You're sick of it by now, Wishtrend. I use them. I've been using them for years. And so you're going to get the Supple Preparation Toner, which I love. It's everyone's favorite toner. The Green Tea Enzyme Powder Wash, which is my favorite, very light exfoliant cleanser. The Rich Moist Soothing Cream, which is undoubtedly, like, it's the least exciting thing. It's just a really simple face cream. But it's my favorite product. Holy grail. If I could only use one product for the rest of my life, it would be that moisturizing cream. The Freshly Juiced Vitamin E Mask, which is, everything is my favorite mask. And then the Freshly Juiced Vitamin C Drop, which is really great for brightening your face. I need to remember to use it more. And then they're also going to throw in 2 free the blue calming sheet mask. So normally all of those together would be $120, but they're giving you a 45% off discount. So it's $66, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to link that down below. It will be on sale from the 18th, so it's already passed, to the 30th. So definitely get your hands on that. That was my first order of business. And now let's just jump into the questions. Shall we? Let me take a sip. Okay, questions. Just to start off, a lot of people were just asking, how am I doing? How am I really doing? And then any advice for going through a hard time. So I'm actually doing really good. As I kind of said in a previous video, I have been stepping back from work, or like the amount of work that I often would put in. Yeah, it's been very nice. I'm working on a story. I'm writing again, which is cool, but that is kind of a double-edged sword because I love being creative, but I think anybody in the creative field knows that that comes with a lot of imposter syndrome, or thinking that what you're working on is really stupid. And I am there. Yesterday I was writing, and even though I was having such a good time and I was so excited, I was also like, wow, this is so dumb. So I'm good, but I'm also like having those like self-critic conversations with myself a lot, but I'm used to that self-critic. It's a good friend. It's not the first time. I'm not like actually beating myself up about it. So I'm just, yeah, I'm in like a very good place. And then as far as advice for if you're not in a good place right now, this, chances are, isn't the first time you've felt crappy. You know, it turned around. Like, you know that it, like, there's a part of us that knows that this isn't going to be forever and that things are going to turn around and be better. But you just kind of have to remember that it's this state of being in whatever you're going through is not permanent. Nothing is permanent. So just kind of remembering that, and remembering that like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Easier said than done, but yeah, I don't have a whole lot of things to like kick you out of that hard time, but just remembering that the hard time is not forever is something that really helps me. So yeah, I just wanted to start off with that because so many of you guys were checking in, and thank you. I'm doing quite good. Oh, here's one. How to deal with imposter syndrome, which I'm dealing with right now. Absolutely number one thing is talk to other people who are in your field, because everyone feels like an imposter. I was lucky enough to meet up with someone who has become a friend named Susan, and she is an author, and she is friends with so many authors that like I know and love. And the way that she talks about her craft and how like she speaks about her friends and stuff like that, who in my mind, like they've created worlds that I've gotten lost in. Like I read a lot of fantasy, so especially fantasy authors, like they have created worlds out of just text on paper, and they're just normal people. And they also don't know what they're doing. And every time that they pick up the pen or they start to write, they feel like what they're doing is a joke. And, you know, they're kind of scrambling. Hearing that from people who are like, I consider geniuses, who are doing things that I wish I could do, it's just very humbling and kind of, you know, nobody knows what they're doing. Maybe like a surgeon, I would say you'd want a surgeon to know what they're doing. And also like a thing that's just general in life to remember is like everyone is going through this for the first time. Even when, you know, for me growing up, I adored my teachers and I thought that they were so old and wise and like they had life figured out. They were still going through the motions for the first time too. Like, you know, it's my first day of being 29 and whatever, 300 something days old. Just remembering that like no one actually has all the answers and no one has actually, I don't know, like just like remembering that. A poet that I love whose name I can't pronounce, I believe the poem is called Nothing Twice, and she basically says like we're sent out here to perform this act called life, but like we've never had a chance to practice it. Long tangent, but if you are suffering from imposter syndrome or you feel lost or you feel whatever in life, like just remembering that we're all on our first go at it makes me feel a little calmer. Does it erase my imposter syndrome? Not in the slightest. But it makes me feel calmer, and I hope that it helped you too. Getting a little, I suppose a little darker. Have you ever experienced some creepy things in South Korea, like guy stalkers or something? So I think most people here have. I have, definitely. I've been followed twice, and then I had a strange, I actually took this video down, but I had a very strange experience on a subway where someone was recording me and then tried to follow me, but I tricked them, I suppose. I was very aware. I'm very thankful that I lived in New York before I moved here because I'm like hyper aware of everything that goes on around me. It hasn't happened kind of in a while, and I want to say that it's a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have a husband. I have a Korean man with me. I think that especially foreign women creepers know that we are usually alone and we usually don't have a lot of family or support systems, and if we were to go to the police it might be more difficult for us, etc. So we're pretty easy targets. I know that I don't talk about it a lot on this channel because honest to God, I don't have a lot of negative experiences here. Probably equal to that of what I experienced in America, and like in different ways. So I don't want people to think that I'm just like sharing how wonderful Korea is, but it's, on one hand, it doesn't happen that often and I'm semi used to it. Like I don't find it much different from what I've experienced in the States. I'm also just like not that kind of person. Even when I'm talking with my friends, it's just not something that I think to bring up in conversation. It's not that I'm like trying to hide that these negative things have happened to me. There's a part of my brain that kind of forgets that that happens or tries to. Yeah, I like, for example, I have fun fact, I was sexually assaulted on the street in New York City, and that hasn't happened here. Like I've been followed, but I haven't been to that degree assaulted. So yeah, I've had a few comments about like me not sharing the negative aspects of Korea, but for me it's that where it's, you know, I've experienced worse and I also just don't talk about that stuff. So have I? Short answer, yes. Luckily, I have had a support system where the first real time that I was followed and he was getting close to my home, I made friends with all of the ajumas in like my convenience stores and the marts. So I just went into the mart and I went to my like ajumas that have adopted me, and I was basically like, this dude's following me, and they all came out and they were like, get away. And it was great. Especially if you're a foreign woman, you're an easy target because they think you're alone. And so try to make yourself not alone, as hard as that sounds. Say hello to your convenience store people. And, if you have a security guard, or if for me, there was a building next door to mine that had a security guard. So I would walk by him and smile, and he knew me. So that's my main advice for that, is try to make yourself known, especially in your neighborhood, especially around your house. Yeah, that's that. Okay, so that kind of reminds me, I had a couple questions about what am I reading recently, etc. And so this kind of flows into that. I recently read If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. My mom, full disclaimer, my mom has been on my butt about reading this. She thought that I would really love it. She was right. It's almost like it's her job. She's a librarian. So the reason that it kind of ties into the previous question is that where I lived when I was living in my basement apartment, I lived in a villa. I live in Gangnam, and I have for 8 years. And it was basically me, the two guys who lived in the basement. I lived with these two old men, I think. I never saw them. But the rest of my apartment building was, in this book, they're called room salon girls. They're basically, they'll get picked up and they'll be brought to parties or bars or whatever. And they're kind of the entertainers. They're the pretty girls who will drink alcohol with you and other things, whatever. I don't know the extent of their, profession. But yeah, those were the girls that I lived with. And this book, If I Had Your Face, follows all of these girls who live in this one particular villa or office-tel. One is a room salon girl, one wants to be, but she currently just works at a nail salon, and she's saving up to get plastic surgery so that she can be pretty enough to be a salon girl. There's another girl who is a hairdresser for the salon girls, etc. There's no real conclusion. It's just kind of recording a particular time in their lives and their interactions with each other. It was so dead on. They even talk about, there's a character that she studies abroad in America, and it talks all about that yuhakseng culture of the really, really rich kids that go study in America. Yeah, everything about it was just so realistic and dead on, and Kurt really wants to read it. I was explaining it to him and he was like, do you have the book? Can I have it? Yeah, it was really excellent. So I do have a book channel if you want to hear me talk about books more. But I know that some of you guys aren't super readers. So if you just want one book, if you're interested in Korean culture, current, contemporary, real Korean culture, If I Had Your Face is amazing. And currently in my office-tel, I still live with a lot of, I don't want to call them call girls, but I guess that's kind of what they are. And so, every night we see them going out, getting picked up in these vans. I don't know. I think it helped me kind of understand my neighbors in a weird way a little bit more. So yeah, If I Had Your Face is a very, very interesting book, and it was really quick. I just highly recommend it. It was just so strangely accurate. So yeah, that's what I've been reading recently. That's what my Gangnam villa life was like, if you'd like to know more. I feel like I'm taking so much time with each question. This video is gonna be so long. I'm so sorry. This is one that I actually really wanted to talk about, and it's a question for you guys as well. Do you ever feel like your life is not aesthetic, and how do you overcome those days? So, question for my 90s kids. So I was born December 31st, 1991. So I grew up with most of my life without social media. We had MySpace, which for me at least was really a place to find music. I never felt any real pressure. You weren't really sharing your life. You were sharing the music that you put on your MySpace page was the most important thing. It didn't matter what your pictures looked like. It was what your taste of music was like. I got an Instagram, which for me, photography was always my main reason to use social media. So Instagram would be the one that I really wanted to use. I didn't get an Instagram until my sophomore year of college. For most of my life, I never felt any kind of pressure to be aesthetic all the time. I think there were times and places, but as far as my house and my room and everything around me all the time having to be aesthetically pleasing, I think I was really, really lucky to grow up in a time where that wasn't true. So yeah, I don't really feel, for me, I would like to live surrounded by things that are nice. Like I'm currently looking, there is a hairball on the ground under my desk. There's a piece of trash that didn't make it into this trash can kind of thing. Like that pisses me off. And I would like my house to be really nice. But as far as it needing to be like this kind of aesthetic thing, I love it when it is, but when it's not, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's not. I would just love to pose that question. Like I'd love to hear from both sides. Like if you grew up like me, like when you had a childhood and your awkward teenage years where you didn't have social media, do you feel a pressure to be aesthetic? And if you grew up with social media, I literally can't fathom your lives. I know that social media does really wonderful things for people, but I think there's like this other layer of it that just adds a pressure that I didn't have, that I wouldn't really wish upon people. So I don't know. I would love to hear from the younger people, the youth. Do you feel a pressure to be aesthetic all the time? And if you do, what do you do on days when you just don't? And yeah, I'm so interested in that. Like that question, I was thinking about that for a long time. Like I just don't have as much of a push to be that way, I think, because of the way that I grew up. So yeah, I wonder, please let me know in the comments. How do you and Kurt make time for each other? So Kurt works a full-time job. So he usually works from like 9 or 10 until like 8 p.m. is like a normal time that we eat dinner. Sometimes it's later. On the weekdays, usually we always have dinner together. We I don't know, we eat, we talk, we chat, we maybe watch a movie, whatever. But on the weekends, that's why I'm really kind of obsessed with my filming schedule is I really work hard to make sure that on the weekends I don't film, so that we have time to just hang out, because that's really when we see each other. Yeah, the weekends is when we really hang out. If you are in a relationship and you're both working long hours, I feel for you. Oh, this one's interesting. Do you ever feel scared to travel where you don't know the language? I kind of did initially, but I think I was very lucky growing up in that I got to travel when I was little, and we went to France, I think is the first place we went to where I didn't speak French, and we survived it. Like my mom knew a little bit from high school, and my dad has no I mean this in the best way. He has no sense of shame. So he'll just try to speak French, and his accent. So seeing, I think, my parents just going for it, and we managed to have a really wonderful trip, kind of gave me the courage to do that in my future. And also I'm an over planner. So when I went on a solo trip to Hong Kong, and luckily Hong Kong is extremely English friendly, obviously. But there were places where English didn't get me super far. And because I had planned so much, and I already knew, when I went to a certain market, I knew what I wanted to order and stuff like that. If you're very, very nervous about traveling and not knowing the language, plan as much as you can ahead of time. And I think you'll surprise yourself. It will probably just be awkward. And if you can get through those awkward encounters, nothing can stop you. Don't let that hold you back, because I think the most powerful trips that you can take are when you go out of your comfort zone and when you experience a culture that's very unlike your own. And so if you're going to a culture where you already know the language, it's probably not super different from your own. So definitely try to get over that fear. I think you will be so proud of yourself, and I think it will open up a whole new world to you. So learn the basics, learn as much as you can, and then go for it. Now I'm excited. Now I want to travel, damn it. Okay, I think this will be the last one because I am talking so much. Do you feel insecure about the future, and how do you deal with it? Ooh. Yeah, I'm constantly insecure about the future, especially with this job is not forever. It's probably only got a few years left in it. And that was just kind of one of the big factors I had to think about when it came to switching to full-time YouTube, which I'm still terrified of. And I don't like to say that I'm a full-time YouTuber because that is horrifying. But leaving the kind of normal track of my career, to switch to freelance and what I'm doing right now, I know that in this era, a lot of people are freelance. It's not as weird, but I feel like if I were to try and go back to kind of a safer office job kind of thing, there's a weird gap in my resume, you know, like I'm in a job that is not as I'm doing it right now. Like if I didn't change anything, it's not a sustainable job. It's not going to see me through to like retirement or whatever. And so just thinking about like what my next step would be as far as like how can I support myself and continue to grow and like still be happy and doing what I love and all that stuff, I don't know. I think about it constantly. So like I have so many plans for the future. I'm excited for the future, but as far as like making it actually happen, I don't know. Like I'm very insecure about the future is the main thing. But yeah, so I'm trying to look at it in a positive light that, you know, the future is hopefully bright. It's, you know, it's ours for the taking, but at the same time, yeah, I'm really scared. This actually, the winter of 2014 was about the time that I was like applying for jobs and looking for jobs and ended up getting my first job here in Korea and stuff like that. So if you guys are in that time in your life and you're terrified, I'm with you 100%. Your first job will probably be absolute shit. Like even if you are so excited for it, I really want to make a whole video honestly about my job here in Korea, because on one hand, it was so great and I met so many great people, but on the other hand, it was abusive and horrible. Only looking back on it can I start to see how terrible it was, how it affected me mentally, etc. This is a tangent, but like I would love to make that video one day. I just don't think this is the right time. These years of your life, if you are graduating college and like looking for jobs right now, they're gonna be rocky as hell, but I can guarantee you will get through it. And hopefully when you turn 30, you will be able to look back at your 20s and be like, whoa, it's gonna feel like you're going through a storm, but you will come out on the other side, and I'm excited for you to reach that. So, but when you hit 30, you're still going to be insecure about your future. I don't think that ever ends. I think like seeing my parents try to figure out like the right time to retire and the right time to like move, like is moving the right decision, all this stuff. Like they're in their 60s and they're still insecure about their future and their choices and their plans. So again, kind of, I guess, tying it back into the first question of like imposter syndrome and how everybody's going through this for the first time. You've just got to remember that we're all a mess and life is just ridiculous and we're all just trying to get through it. Have faith in yourself. I feel like this was kind of a wishy-washy Q&A. A lot of your questions I've answered in previous ones where it was more focused on like work and moving to Korea and stuff like that, but I just thought we could chat feelings and stuff like that today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything we talked about today. Tomorrow, I'm going to immigration to renew my visa. Which will be fun. They aren't taking any reservations. Normally you have to have an appointment, but they're basically like, it's a free-for-all. Just come in. Wish me luck, please. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Once again, if you want to check out my wait. Oh my God. Okay, I have a thing to tell you, but my Wishtrend box, down below, 45% off. It's all of my holy grail skincare things. I'll be right back. I need to show you something. 1 second. Hi. What a missed opportunity. I could have lit one of these candles. Dang it. One of my beautiful, wonderful, lovely, talented subscribers started a candle company called Lunar Candles, and she sent me a few, and do you want to see the pink one or the yellow one? I'm only going to open one. I'll show you the yellow one. Hold on. Here she is. Oh my God. So she makes these little mushrooms. I have a pink one. I have this other candle that is shaped like a nice tall one that's shaped like a flower. I am so excited. Oh my God, the detail, like even the bottom. Oh my God. So anyway, thank you so much to Julie here. Oh, there's even like she does clouds. Just amazing. The talent. So yeah, link down below. Thank you so much. I got these and I was just like, anyway, I will leave you here. I hope you guys are doing well. And what are we doing next? Oh, okay. Yeah. We're going with one of my friends. She's going to take me to an island and we're going to do some cafe hopping, but it's all vegan. So it should be really, really fun. Is that all I have to say? I think so. So I will leave you here. Thank you so much for being with me and just sitting, chilling, drinking tea. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. So love you always. And